Arsenal fans seem to be split in their opinion when it comes to that game yesterday against Crystal Palace. I'm hearing positives, negatives, excitement, disappointment. Where do I sit? Look, people say to me sometimes, do you know what? You're a bit too positive. So in this video, I might actually surprise some people because I'm going to speak about a couple of things that don't scare me. I'm not concerned about, but I definitely think we need to be careful going forward or it might cause us a few problems. And that might surprise people because usually, oh, look, why are you always so positive? And I'm usually like, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with being too positive? Come on, brighten up. It is Christmas. Let me know your thoughts on that game yesterday. Did you enjoy the performance? Are you happy that Arsenal are through to the next round? 2 legs against Chelsea away. Look, very first, quickly, help me out. Hit like and subscribe. I am 20 subscribers away from 16,000. Let's see if we can get there before Christmas. The main thing, or positive, I take from that game is the amount of chances Arsenal created. And people can always say, yeah, but you have to finish your chances. But it's always easier to improve on your finishing than it is on your chance creation. I saw a stat pop up today. In Arsenal's last 3 games, our expected goals were 6. Like, that doesn't indicate to me that the team is not in a good position. If you're expected to score 6 goals over 3 games, you're doing something right. You do need to improve in that final area, which is something most of us Arsenal fans know. We know that we have to put the ball in the back of the net. There's been countless examples this season of games when Arsenal have played okay, but maybe we've scraped through and we made work slightly more difficult for ourselves than it needed to be. And that yesterday was one of those games. Like, we conceded late. That's the one area where I can genuinely say we need to tighten up. Like, if that continues, then we will have problems because you can't concede late against, I'm just trying to think off the top of my head, was it Sunderland we conceded late, Aston Villa, that game yesterday, and I think there was one more as well. But you can't concede late in every game because it's not sustainable. Going forward, eventually you will get caught out. We saw this with Liverpool where it's like they keep scoring late and winning games. And yes, it's brilliant. You can say this is the performance of champions, but eventually you're going to get caught out. And we saw what happened with Liverpool. When they didn't keep scoring those late goals, their performances plummeted. And all of a sudden, they started dropping crazy points. I'm hoping, and that's not going to happen with Arsenal. But if we don't tighten up, if we don't see out the 90 minutes with full just solidity, then if teams keep scoring late, eventually you will get caught out. But like I said, the positive I take from this is the amount of chances. Like, you think how many goals we could have scored yesterday. The first half especially. So many. I mean, straight away, Madueke was played through. And it was a chance that he just should have scored. People have been questioning Noddy Madueke's finishing ability because he does everything else so well. But the end product frustrates people. Look, he's a new player just come into the club, so I'm certainly not going to get on his back. But that is one area you can look at with some certainty and say, I would like to see improvement in that area. Gabriel Jesus as well. We all know Gabriel Jesus is a fabulous player. So good at times, dropping in deep, getting involved in play, running in behind. Even a headed effort yesterday, which was probably his best effort. Great save by the Palace keeper. But he should have scored, Gabriel Jesus, yesterday. And this is the frustration with Gabriel Jesus. He does so many things right. But putting the ball in the back of the net is where he seems to struggle. And that's why when he's been in form even, and when he's been playing well, we've still been crying out for a striker. Because we need a guy who week in, week out can put the ball in the back of the net when you're giving them chances. And these guys did find chances yesterday. We had Martinelli had a chance, Madueke had a chance, Timber had a chance, Gabriel Jesus had a couple of chances, Declan Rice had a chance late in the game. You need to be putting some of those away. Now, a positive from the first half was Gabriel Martinelli. An electric performance in the first half. The right back of Palace didn't know what was good. He was getting spun inside out, upside down, round and round. Martinelli was electric. He had the beating of his fullback every single time. I mean, he sat him down on a couple of occasions. So you would have liked in those moments for someone to finish those chances because it was definitely deserved from Gabriel Martinelli. Now, he didn't quite look himself When he come out in the second half, and that's expected because he got that knock on the knee. I hope it's not serious. I know other Arsenal fans hope this isn't a Martin Odegaard where it's a knee-on-knee collision, then all of a sudden you're missing that guy for a 2 or 3 month period. Gabriel Martinelli was really, really good in that game. Hopefully he's not injured and he can continue on the weekend against Brighton. That is a big game now. Look, we've got a couple of home games coming up, and this will tell us where Arsenal are, because you are playing some decent teams. Brighton are a good side, but we should be beating them. But the game after that is where I'm looking at and I'm thinking, right, this is really, really interesting. Because at the minute, Aston Villa are in the Premier League title race. Like, that's crazy to think. Like, Aston Villa's form at the minute is phenomenal. They're so strong at home, but their away form is even decent so far. So the next 2 games will tell us a lot in this title race, honestly. I think most people are with the opinion that Arsenal and Man City this season will battle it out for the title. But if Villa produce good results in these next 2 games, they are well within a chance to win the title, because they play Chelsea away from home and then they come to Arsenal away from home. So if Villa can get results in those games, you have to take them more serious. But right now, I expect them to drop points in the next couple of games. Again, on current form, they're the best team in the league. But I think the next 2 games are going to be very difficult for Villa. But all Arsenal can do is focus on the upcoming games. We've got Brighton coming up. A massive, massive opportunity to put a couple of decent wins together. We're at home. We've seen this season, I think, certainly of late, that our home performances have been far better than our away performances. We need to be lucky with injuries. Hopefully, like I said, Martinelli isn't injured. Hopefully, Gabriel will be back soon. I've actually got a video coming up about Gabriel and how he just improves Arsenal massively, and something that we're missing for sure. But the game yesterday was good. I take mainly positives. Like I said, the only negative I take, or not even a negative, but thing we need to be careful of, is these conceding of the late goals. Everything else was good. Chance creation. We fell asleep at the back maybe late on, but for most of that game, we saw Calafiori at centre-back, which was good. I thought that was Miles Lewis-Skelly's best performance of the season. Some people are still trying to get on his back, and I think that's very unfair, because I thought in the main yesterday from Miles Lewis-Skelly, that was a very, very assured performance. So that was good to see from Miles Lewis-Skelly, because he still can be a useful addition to this Arsenal team. If Calafiori's needed at centre-back, then we know we've got Lewis-Skelly who can still produce a good result. Them penalties were exceptional. The first 7, 8 for Arsenal, but every single penalty Arsenal took was brilliant. I mean, you had Odegaard first, and then you had Marino scoring, and Trossard scored, and then Saka stepped up, Declan Rice, Calafiori, so many good penalties. Saliba, everyone was slotting them away. So was Palace as well, and I was kind of thinking, come on, Kepa, you need to be getting near some of these. But he was almost diving the opposite way, but then he stood up when it was most needed, and I'm so glad it was Lacroix. What a night Lacroix had, by the way. He must look at himself and think that is a terrible performance, because he was okay in the game, but you get the own goal and then you miss the penalty. I know there's a few Arsenal fans out there who are still frustrated at Lacroix because of what happened, the little bit of back and forth with Saka. But yeah, I mean, it's a great result. I'm happy that we're through to the next round. I know some people are panicking because of the schedule, the fact we've got to play 2 more games against Chelsea, a solid Chelsea team, an aggressive Chelsea team who, you know, there is a chance where maybe one of our players get injured in that game. Obviously, I hope that don't happen. But for me, I'm happy to be in the cup competition. I think Arsenal should be aiming to win this cup. I haven't seen Arsenal lift this cup. I was born in 91. The last time we won this was 93. Before that, 87. So I haven't had a chance to see in person Arsenal lift this trophy. So I do think it's one we should go for. I think our squad is more than good enough to win it. We saw it yesterday. There was huge rotation in that team. And by and large, we controlled a large portion of that game. Now, the defence wasn't quite as rotated as most of us would like to have seen. But that's because we're carrying so many guys with injuries at the minute. We've got so many defenders out. You think of Mosquera, Gabriel. I mean, Ben White. There's so many guys that you could have played in that game that would have fallen in our second team, I guess, if you like. So, all in all, I only take positives from that game. I think it's a huge result. I think it allows us to put a run of form together now, maybe gain some momentum. I know there's some people out there who are panicking because they're like, we're not playing the same as we did early on in the season. And all I would say is, yeah, but we're not losing. Look at the position. We're in the semi-final of the EFL Cup. We're still in other cup competitions. We're top of the Champions League. We're top of the Premier League. Some people like to act like it's totally doom and gloom and Arsenal are in this real rut at the minute. We're in this dark spot. But how could we possibly be when we are still alive and kicking in all of these competitions, leading the way in the most part? So, yeah, brilliant performance from Arsenal. Bit frustrating at the end that you let in a late goal, but it was good drama. Like, it was a bit nervy. Penalties, it's always a bit of a 50-50. And the fact that Arsenal were missing so many chances did make me think, are we going to be able to bury these penalties? Because in front of goal, so far, we've been terrible. Like, we've missed so many chances, but everybody stood up and made themselves counted. So it was great to see. Let me know your thoughts, though, on everything you've heard in this video. Thank you so much to everyone for watching and listening. Before you go, if you could do me a quick favour, hit like and subscribe, and I'll speak to you all in tomorrow's video. Gooners, have a good day.